The Council is interested in promoting frequent, continuous and progressive LOTC experiences. The reason? To enable more young people to participate in more learning outside the classroom. Out and About is something to help schools incorporate learning outside the classroom into the curriculum, and it's developed key products to help deliver the aims of the manifesto. It's a package of web-based support, advice and guidance, and it helps schools and others to plan, run and evaluate exciting and challenging LOTC experiences. It's all on that website. It's actually quite a good website, and we're encouraging you to have a look at that if you will do in the next few days. Well, how to? How do I do all this? As part of this then, the how-to guidance provides practical support to help schools deliver more. And there are downloadable CPD, continuous professional development. So for teachers, if they're rather unsure about all of this, what can they do and how can they do it? There are these packages available. There is information on how to plan a curriculum, putting learning beyond the classroom in its at the core. About the learning experience, and there's a whole set of things about links and resources. Where can I get something to help me to be able to do this from? And incidentally, there's also a complete package for newly qualifying teachers, so that they from the start can bring it into their practice, irrespective of the subject that they have to be teaching. Now, the quality badges are an important part of this initiative. If you're going to take a group of young people on an organised venture to whatever it is, be it a church, believe it or not, a library, a museum, an art gallery, never mind on an adventurous activity, on a field trip, overseas, or whatever, really we need to have some common denominator that people are subscribing to LOTC in a meaningful way, that they are advocates of best practice, and equally importantly, in your context as CSEC, that it's safe. No, we don't want people going to whatever it is, and you can inadvertently, reducing unintended injuries, as your Ford says over there, walk into the canal because it's not properly protected. Pick up all of the artifacts which happen to be knives and spears and arrowheads because they're not being securely, but interestingly, displayed. And if you're going to go on the Duke of Edinburgh's award scheme, or with the Girl Guides or the Scouts, is the practice, has it taken account of risk management? Has it managed those risks effectively? And is it an indicator of good practice? So there is a scheme of quality badges. It's new. It combines learning and safety into one easily recognisable badge. And these are the 8 areas in which you can get one. There's only one badge. It's called an LOTC badge. But there are 8 subdivisions. And they go, the first one, the blue one, is adventurous activities. If you can see that, it's somebody going up a rock face. And you go along through the arts libraries, field studies, expeditions overseas, all of those are on there. The consultation that there was showed that really, before this came into being, there was a whole plethora of awards and badges. You can have a charter mark and a quality mark, and you can belong to this organisation and that organisation, but there's not much coordination about it. So you as a teacher or a practitioner with a group of young people, if the organisation has a quality badge, it's gone through a process of assessment that says it is conforming to relevant safety standards and risk management, and that its provision is a quality one in terms of the educational benefit that's going to come out of it. And we're getting now the local authority coordinators of outdoor visits to understand that if somebody's got a badge, the school doesn't need to go through the rigmarole of the application process of the administration that is there, because it's already been done signifies that the organisation offers a good quality LOTC opportunities, and as I say, it manages its risk effectively. And to obtain a badge, the provider has to demonstrate that LOTC is understood and valued. There are processes in place to establish and maintain an effective partnership with schools and other groups of young people. And structures are in place to support and enable effective learning, as well as being safe. So, at the end of the day, that's what it's about. The learning comes first, and which to me is the wrong way around. It should be learning and teaching these days. We've taught teachers how to teach. It's the learning of young people we're basically interested in. And safe, managing risk effectively. You can't eliminate this. It's there. Let's manage it. Can't abolish it. So let's accept that kind of thing. It's a little bit complicated. So let's just have a look at what's on the screen there. A bluffer's gun. Yep, it's a badge. It measures quality, it's for users. Providers have to meet certain quality standards, and users know that the providers with the badge have got a quality experience. There are 8 sectors, there they are up there, but they all have the same badge. It's relatively cheap. I wouldn't say it was really cheap, because there are 2 routes by which providers can acquire the badge. That might matter to you, so let's have a look. For Route 1 providers, deemed to have a lower requirement of risk management. If you go to the library, if you go to the art gallery, if you go to a museum, if you go to a church, that should be a relatively straightforward experience, and the risk isn't that great. So they put a self-evaluation form that is checked against the code of practice by the staff at LOTC, and there are random quality assurance visits from recognised trained inspectors. If you pass that, then you'll be awarded one of those badges. As I say, we're getting people to understand the red tape that goes with it for the school doesn't need to happen, and safety has been looked at. Now, for Route 2, this is more complicated. You're talking here now of adventurous activities, of field trips, of expedition providers, that kind of thing, where there is a greater element of risk. So, farm visits, field studies, remote areas, adventurous activities, sports, cultural tours and expeditions outside the UK, there is a more rigorous assessment regime. Yes, it involves external assessment and inspection. I could talk to you for some time about the adventure activities one, because the organisation of which I chair, coincidentally, is the badge holder for the adventurous activities one. And there has to be a rigorous inspection that conforms almost identically to the statutory licensing authority. Where that applies, the LOTC badge can put this in place as well. So it's not a sort of pussy-putting around affair, it is something that's taking safety extremely seriously, because LOTC would be remiss if it did not. The website. Important that, it's where resource happens to be. We're working with yourselves in your LASER project, developing a reciprocal accreditation.